hi, two versions of me. I'm the one up here, and I'm also the one over there, but I'm having trouble exporting this file, and I've just cut it down from about 5 minutes to 2.5 minutes. So I'm just going to play it right now, and then I hope that works. Here we go. If you've ever dreaded public speaking, there's something that might sound familiar to you at the beginning of this book. In it, the author flies to Mexico to give a talk at a conference and is quite surprised by how big the conference is. I went to look at the list of speakers to see if there was anybody I knew. It was quite a shock to find myself listed among people I have admired for years. There were some names I didn't know, but an awful lot of them were extremely famous. Not just famous in my line of work, but famous. I decided to go and look at the stage from the audience. To do this, I had to walk through the backstage area where upcoming speakers were waiting to go on. The ones who were up next wore headsets with wires running under their clothes and radio transmitters clipped behind them. They stood before a large screen watching the speaker who is currently on stage, stretching their fingers and as if preparing for a swim, or drawing folded papers from their pockets to check their notes over and over again. I didn't recognize any of these individuals, but I did recognize their behavior. They looked extremely nervous. Quietly stepping down into the auditorium, I came to see why they might feel that way. It was frighteningly big. I guess there must have been about 5,000 people there. Turning to the stage, I watched the current speaker finish and walk off. He had quite a distance to cover, but mercifully the audience applauded him all the way. It must have been some talk. I stayed for a couple of hours, standing in the aisle to watch the audience watch the speakers, one after another. Gradually, it became clear that all the things I usually talk about were being covered by the speakers before me. Sure, I could use slightly different examples to illustrate my points, but I doubted that my stories, drawn from my life in faraway London, could be more compelling than those the audience had heard already. What could I possibly add? And of course, the book goes on to give some ideas about what to do about that. Thanks for listening. Yeah, like he said, thanks for listening.